Svarttjern. How are you?
Still alive?
Still alive?
How
Well,
are
that's a
you?
plus. I'm well. I'm well. I'm excited. I'm glad we got to talk. I was saying earlier, I'm newer to your music, so I've been catching up. But I can't believe you guys stand out so much different in the genre than other bands. I don't. The guitar sound, the way you songwrite, you guys are just it's a little bit different, and it's amazing how much it just stands out just slightly. So when you guys started out, and we'll start there in 2003. Was that the intention to kind of keep that the black metal feeling, Norwegian metal feeling, but also change it a little bit, your sound, or just evolve?
Hard to say. Maybe
I think
Eric, go ahead and say something about that.
I think we're pretty traditional when we started the band, especially like in the early days. We
Mhm.
had I think I can speak for both Hans and myself. We had like this typical black metal perception of the genre, and not only of the genre, but the whole the culture and identity of the then black metal scene, which was very different. Just not just, but 20 years ago, it was different. So at least for me, it was keeping a traditional focus on the black metal music.
How has the scene changed you? Because like I know for me, I'm 55, so like when rock and the metal bands and all the bands started out in USA, it was way different when I grew up. It was around the time of all the Sunset Strip and all those things and MTV and everything. So now when I see the other generation bands coming around, it's like a copy of a copy, or you see younger people doing it. It's weird now, isn't it, to see it differently. For you guys have probably been through a couple phases now of the black metal scene going through it. Is it? Do you feel it is continuing on, like honoring it, or it's becoming more of a copy of it
That's hard to
for
say.
any?
First of all, I don't know. Being part of a scene, I don't think we have ever been part of a scene. Svarttjern has always been a band. We've never been a cool band, which today is probably our biggest strength because we just fuck people up. But being a copy of a copy, I guess a lot of bands go into that trap today. And I
Right.
guess because maybe your intentions are different when you start out. Uh, we did, as Gamle Erik said now, we did have, of course, like a beacon for which to follow.
Right.
We learned about black metal as we played it and heard even more. Um, but still, we had this personal idea about something we wanted to accomplish within ourselves.
Mhm.
And we haven't done that yet. That's why still the albums are, the sound maybe changes a bit. I think maybe now, for the first time, at least for me, 20 years later, we're actually starting to land on something that feels really comfortable. So I guess today's generations, uh, I think everybody's too uptight. Everybody's listening to each other.
Yeah.
They're letting people set the rules. If somebody sets a rule for Svarttjern, I mean, they will be eliminated. We will destroy them. We don't follow any rules, and I guess that's our freedom. Maybe that's our sound. Today, I mean, I was standing on Inferno Festival in Oslo now, watching bands play, which are amazing musicians. I mean, they can play stuff we would never be able to, but
Right.
still, there's they're so hollow, you know?
I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
I get music
So
sent to me like that, and people go, "Will you do this?" I'm like, "Well, I appreciate the skills of the artist. They're
yeah,
fantastic, but
yeah,
there's something missing. There's an essence of it, and that kind of goes to with your influences. You can have an influence of a band, start out black metal or rock or classic,
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
you
Of
are.
course. Yeah.
You can love your influences because you got
Mm,
to come from somewhere. But what do you do with that? How do you invoke your own creativity and evolve?
yeah, yeah.
And I can say I do agree with you. I think all your albums have been such an evolution.
Thank
You know,
you.
I think
And
your
I think
first
it's
album was like a
because,
stepping stone, but you
oh
really
yeah,
just you guys, but that's like a springboard. Like we're here,
we never listened to the cool guy in the pub. We kicked his face in, and that's it. We
yeah,
never. There's always like that some. superstar in every scene who probably doesn't even play in the band. He just got all these rules. You know, fuck
Right.
that guy. So sorry, I'm going to calm down now.
No. It's okay. I actually, I think you guys just done a very exciting podcast. That was a pretty good one you guys did with the other guy. I'm sorry, his name's escaping me. People can
Metal
Google
Horror
it.
Madman.
Yeah, he was great. Good
Yeah,
job. That was fun. I loved his energy. So props out to him.
Oh,
But
definitely.
he's a good guy. But I'm not going to make you guys have that kind of energy. I can't keep it up. I would need like 20 Red Bulls to keep up with him.
We were quite tired as well. We were like Norwegians, trying to be like humble and small.
Yeah, right. Take a little black metal nap afterwards. But it's influencing because of how the well, when anything starts getting popular, it gets watered down and it becomes like, store version of everything, and it just becomes like overdone, and it kind of kills the scene. I mean, do you think there's a danger for you guys?
I don't think that in the case of our band with Svarttjern. I really don't. As Hans has been thoroughly into already, like we've we carve our own path. We don't follow the doctrines, neither musically or visually or by in life in general. We do it our way or we don't do it at all. So I see all the other bands look like clones, and to some extent we keep like the traditional black metal look in terms of doing the corpse paint and the blood
It's
and
fun. It's fun. It's a good thing. I mean, I love
that
it.
that does not exclude the other, and that is by choice. If the image of the band, I hate that word, but it will still be like the same the same core, the same heart, the same
Right.
feeling. And so I don't feel threatened by all these new so-called up-and-coming bands, and as Nick, with the technical abilities, it bores the shit out of me. It doesn't give me anything. So I'm here for the long run, you know.
Who are your guitar influences? Because your sound is way different than anybody else's out there.
Oh, you're asking
Yeah,
me? I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Actually, you
no,
can tell me too.
No.
Let's
I'm
give
just kidding.
I had this phase where I listened to like the 80s shredder
Yeah.
guys. So I have this profound respect for like Jason Becker and Marty Friedman, which I was so happy to meet a couple
Did
of
you?
years.
He shreds. They both do.
Uh,
In fact, Becker's still
Paul
doing stuff,
Gilbert,
right?
all the 80s guys. Not that I can play any of it, but I can appreciate it, and I can be, if not inspired, but at least, yeah, maybe to some extent inspired as well.
You definitely have a good sound, and I love your tone, but your guitar tone, the way it fits in with it, just like a
Yeah,
regular nostalgic black metal sound, it just does something so different. It's so much more original.
yeah.
And
I think
yeah,
I think I need to like give kudos to our producer on most of the records. I've never been like this guitarist who's very picky on the sound, or at least I'm open to experiment on
Yeah,
experimenting.
but if I may arrest you, I must say
absolutely.
you have been picky in a way because you
Yeah.
have your playing style, which you have had for since day one.
Mm.
How it ends up sounding out of the speakers. I mean, as long as you can control the input and have the dialogue. So I beg to differ, but do you have your thing?
It's different now, you know, when you get to a certain like level in this thing, and like the international scene, more or less, you have to be professional in terms of at least trying to keep up a bit with technology, and as like just paying respect to the audience, and again not being this true cult gatekeeper wannabe idiot
Right.
who thinks who chooses like this shitty amp just to like brag about it to his shitty friends, and his so that's I want to keep it at the highest level possible, no matter what I do, and guitar tone is one of them.
It's fantastic. It's very different to me. I mean, obviously, I listen to the guitar, I listen to it, but I love how it just stands out so much different. Like it's just so. I'm
Yeah,
sure
thanks.
I'm
Appreciate
sure
it.
purists would be like, that's not pure. But I mean, it's so much better to be in a way that is so original. Like you took
Mm.
your influences. And I can say the same with the vocals too, but I won't. No, I'm just kidding. No, they are, but no, but they are. You guys took what your influences, but you ran with them. So you are your own sound now. And I
We're
guess
pushing it.
with the questions for me a little even more deeper, not just generic ones, is because USA, we have our own gatekeeping and a death metal band would never like an 80s metal band. Whereas I get the feeling a lot of black metal bands that you'd think we wouldn't like any of that love the guitar of a lot of those 80s metal bands, which I do too.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I'm saying, when you hear death metal over here, a lot of those guys are like posers or this and that. So it's very interesting that black metal we seem like be even further on the other end. It's like, no, we love it.
Yeah.
Which I love to hear. I'm very open to music. So it's such a great thing to hear when you guys say that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
What
but, yeah.
what about you, Hans? Actually, for your influences too, where are you coming from?
Oh, hard to say. I think a lot of my influences lies in uh, gaining uh, self-composure in a way. I want to be in control of what I'm doing. And I think a lot of my influences comes from bands that are just not black metal at all, in a way. Type O Negative, for example,
Hmm.
just because I like the attitude.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
Uh,
just mean sound, by the way. I'm sorry. I should be clear about
yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. I know what
Because
you
I
mean.
don't think when I say what influences you, I don't mean I want to sound like Steven Tyler or Joe Perry.
Oh, no, 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 no,
I'm
no,
like,
definitely.
what influences you in the music field that gets you excited and goes, I have an idea.
Oof, it's hard to say. I can listen to a pop song and say, wow, now I want to sit down and write music. And then it's probably because that music is inspiring to me, just bam,
Yeah.
just light something in me. But what I've enjoyed the most, getting older and also gaining confidence, because I think a lot of what Svarttjern is doing today is also showing a tremendous amount of confidence for every single individual in the band.
Hmm.
Uh, I know my vocals sound different than
Oh yeah.
previous releases, but I also think they sound different from everything
I thought they
else.
sounded great earlier on, but now you compare them down out, you can. It sounds like it's a level of the musicianship from all you guys, and the quality of the sound definitely is like almost a different band. You
Yeah, it's
know.
like, but it's also confidence, you know. Um, but I think a lot of my influences comes from uh, musicians that are confident in terms which I recognize. And again, I'm not talking about a confident gatekeeper at a shitty black metal pub in Oslo. I'm talking about people
I
you
put you the club in
really,
mind you got.
really admire, you know?
Yeah.
Peter Steele, he must be one of my biggest influences ever.
They're gonna have a new
Uh,
live album coming out soon.
oh, yeah. Killjoy from Necrophagia.
Yeah,
One of my absolute favorite bands, by the way.
that's a good call. Wow, that's a good one. I like that. Deep dive.
And and Elton John,
Any man wearing duck
you
suit
know?
in a
That's
stadium
my influences. I
is
don't give a fuck.
pretty bad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's not afraid of nothing.
What?
I said any guy that can wear that duck suit in a stadium is not afraid of anything. That's pretty tough.
Oh, fuck that. Fuck that.
That's
But
Confidence.
you
pretty
know
cool. No,
how he
that's pretty
puts
cool.
the
Songs.
already written words into his own melodies, how he composes around it. You know, that's fucking attitude. I love it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And for me, black metal has ended up like a fucking parody. You know, we
I think
do.
everything's like
I
that
don't
though,
know what we
really,
do.
don't you? I
What's
think that's
that?
the danger. I think everything can be like that. And that's kind of the
Yeah.
weirdness. And that's why, like for me, I love all types of music and I'll focus on different types of bands from different genres. Like to me, you guys stand out. And there's a handful of bands that stand out, which I'll have my show where I have, you know what I'm saying? Because those are the
Yeah.
bands to me that stand out. And I'm not slagging other bands if they don't come on. It's just for me,
Hmm.
I feel the originality. And watching you guys, I've never seen you in person, but I've seen a lot of performances online and hopefully someday I can see you guys. But do you feel the growth of the band is coming and inspiration from your live stuff, or like when you guys are in the rehearsal room, or is it like rehearsal is more creative, the stage is more confident? Like this is for either of you guys to kind of.
It's hard to say. What do you say, Erik?
Good question. I don't think it's like either the stage or the studio, especially now with the experience all the members in the band has gotten from other bands in the scene, like
Right.
larger bands, or like this ancestral band. We're in several bands, all of us.
Yeah, that's
Like
my leading question too for it. Yeah, because you
yeah,
guys have so
but
much other stuff
yeah,
feeding into you guys. It's amazing.
it has brought a lot of experience, and with experience comes confidence. And Svarttjern is is like probably the least black metal thing to say, but for me, it's like this creative safe space, and not only like creative, it's a personal safe space.
Yeah.
Because we know each other so well, we know each other's strengths and weaknesses. We allow ourselves to fail. We allow ourselves to make idiots of ourselves from time to
Mhm.
time. But it's still, it's no like, it's not a very judgmental band in terms of the members. We are cheering for each other
Yeah.
to, and we all want like both the band and the members to prosper and
Succeed.
succeed.
And if I may
Yeah.
step in on that, I truly believe that the combination of, as Erik says, we know we've been creating stuff, we have been doing it together, and then hitting the road with it, hanging out. You know, we're five the best. We're best friends. I mean, there's no other four guys I would step into hell with than these guys, or heaven for that sake. But that's also where the dynamic builds. We play the songs live, we live it, we live on top of each other, and the friendship just keeps cementing even more. So I think it's kind of a combination from, yes, we create it through hard work in studio, but then we go out and play it, and I think that's kind of the way we like to go about it.
I mean that would make sense, and I think, and these are all important things. I think that I want people to pick up. Like, there's no gatekeeping. Don't You can like Elton John and like black metal. You can love all types of music. Don't There's nothing. There's no uncool record. There's no. You can. I mean, you can. Really, I mean, people just gotta stop feeling all these craziness and labels. It's so stupid. That's the most unmetal thing ever, is having a label. But and the word talks about is the strength of a relationship and your friendship in the band, and I think that shows on the albums how much you guys can keep growing. Because I know I've talked to a lot of bands
Thanks.
that didn't have that.
Yeah,
And
thank
they
you.
have one good album because stars were aligned, but at that point, underneath it, most bands, fell apart because they didn't have those kind of relationships, or they went stagnant because each one did their safe zone, and you started doing the same album or the same. Because they're afraid, or this guy doesn't like this, he won't let me play this, or you know. But when you're in an area where everyone lets you just push it and be like, I'm going to sound like a dork. Might be
Yeah,
ridiculous,
yeah, let's
but
give it a
let's
go.
do it. Let's
Yeah,
do it. And then you can go, you know what? Maybe that's not it, but this could be it. And then you go from there again. But that safety net is such an asset to creativity. So I applaud you for having a great, a healthy band, which is funny saying in black metal, you think would be like the worst thing. Yeah.
I wouldn't say healthy, but hanging in there.
Oh, come on now, stop it. On that level for human beings, yes, you can
Yeah,
knock yourself down. I won't. Um, but I also want to say, I love the idea of you guys from all the outside projects and coming in, singing in different bands, playing guitar in different bands, writing in different bands. That's definitely a great way to improve your songwriting. And then each album, and I think because each album grows, there's going to be another influence coming in from other
yeah,
projects you've worked on, other people to work with, how to work with other people, how to sounds, you get ideas, and then what you want to do that you couldn't do elsewhere.
yeah. And what's cool now? We often step into that example really on, especially the recording of the last album, Draw Blood.
Mm-hmm.
We were pretty much the whole band in the studio the whole time for the final pieces of recording. I mean, while tracking the last parts of the guitar pieces, there were four other guys just hanging around. This, oh, oh, how did that sound? Maybe this and that, because as you say, we're 5 members and we are the safety net.
Right.
And I mean, for this recording the vocals for this album, I mean, I had 4 guys looking in the window and just, hey, no, changing like rhythms or parts, and other parts, of course, you get to do all freely. I mean,
Yeah.
Erik could track song after song after song, but that one riff is like, hey, why don't we maybe do something like that? Try something out, and maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, you know. And the same with vocals as well. My vocals are usually like first take, do 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 do, but suddenly it's like an idea. Hey, why don't we maybe change that part into that, and that maybe turned
But to be
into
open to
a
that and having the other guys say, "Hey, what about this?"
yeah,
For somebody to be open to taking a suggestion from other guys that say, "Isn't the singer? Isn't the guitarist?" Because at this point, all of you guys and the other band members too, they do some fantastic music too. So props out to those guys. But all of you guys doing different things have become your own little producers at this point. Whether you're a professional, you know what I'm saying? You guys know what
yeah,
sounds you want. You know how the studio goes. This isn't your first album. You're not just club guys.
no,
So you guys, it's so sad having 4 other producers working
yeah.
with you
And that
on what they want
has
for a
worked
sound.
into a very good dynamic from my angle, and I know of the whole band's angle. It's worked into a really 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 good dynamic that is definitely a strength, not only with the release but also with us as individual musicians. It's
What's
become a very
the what's the creative process for songwriting? Is it lyrics? I mean, guitar line, just different ways.
Usually, we're pretty traditional, if you can say that in 2026, but we usually start with myself and the other guitarist meeting up in my studio and just throwing things, just sitting with 2 guitars and throwing things back and forth. And we just do a simple pre-production and send to the other guys and just listen to it, and we meet back up again. And that's like at least the early stages of of the
Like
creative
demoing it and
process.
stuff.
Yeah, and I think that is like a formula that works for us and
yeah.
tons of other bands, I would imagine. And we meet up in the rehearsals when we have a bit more like
Mm.
a bit more to go on, like maybe 3, 4 song ideas, not only like the individual riffs or ideas, or but more like something to work on, at least easier to work on.
Well, it feels
And
like it's more of a sketchbook idea, right? With the guitar, with the guitars are down, it's like having the sketch for everybody to kind of say, we can start here,
yeah,
you
but
know.
we'll try at least for me on the Draw Blood album. I was like I don't know if I succeeded, but I was at least my mindset was doing more and more keys and Moog and synth and stuff like that as an overall like idea. And as soon as you like incorporate those types of elements, you need to give space somewhere else. So
Right.
at least we try to tone down. It's fine to have like a chord or 4 if everything else fits. So it's not like only the guitar riff at all, at least not at this stage in our career
Sure.
now with like working on the seventh. It's cool with a good guitar riff, but it's not like imperative.
Except you don't overplay. That's a phrase I say a lot, and that's why I
Oh,
love. This is how I find a band how I like. I can say why I like you guys. You serve the song. An example would be like the fantastic vocals of Whitney Houston. It'll be like a song, the big song she does. But she over sings so much, but she doesn't. But there's just a certain point where you just don't go anymore. Now other singers do that a lot on every song. It's like a shrill.
Mm,
That's oversinging it. Guitarists do it. They overshred all over the songs. Are
mm,
you serving the song? I love good guitar, but I don't want it everywhere. There's some great guitar
well,
players. I
yeah.
can't listen to their albums because it's just too much.
yeah.
And that's I have this I think both the other guitarists and myself, I had a bit like a cynical approach uh, to songwriting, especially now in like the past few years. Like I know I have to perform this live. and I don't want. I'm serious.
No, I know.
What
This is something I hear a lot. That's I'm laughing. A lot
I
of more
could
people are
practice
realizing the mortality
yeah, but
as musicians.
I have to perform this live, and when I do that, I don't want to be focusing on the instrument. It's the last thing I want to be focusing
Right.
on. So that at least like crawl back in my head, and I think it's important because speaking about the stage and studio, we we play a lot of live shows, and I think we all five members need to be comfortable on a technical
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
And speaking of, as I mentioned as well, it's not like this technical pissing contest. At least not for me anymore. I have nothing to prove when it comes to guitar playing. Nothing.
Yeah. I don't think any band does. I think when you do that, you really sell yourself short. This is perfect,
Yeah.
actually. So Hans, vocally for you. So when you're writing or singing in the studio, as you get older, it's different in this genre, though. I can't even sing along to your music. I would be dead. So I'm so impressed by it. But doing your vocals, are you keeping that in mind for performance when you know you've got to do an hour and a half of more songs when you're writing that, or are you like, I'm just going to put it out there and we're going to work on it when I get live? It's just going to be what it is.
No, I don't think about that at all because usually all of my studio recordings are first take or second or
Wow.
third take. Sometimes I may divide like more fast-paced stuff just to up the quality. I would do like one
Mm-hmm.
sentence pause, one ten sentence, and on second take I would do like the opposite. But besides that, no, because in my head, um, live performances has always been key. So I would never write something I could not do live because I do it live in the studio more or less, of course,
Right.
with the opportunity to have more takes and so on. But I never think about it because it's a live take in the studio as well.
Is it harder for you as you get older to sing, or is it even easier at some level because your voice has gotten stronger and you've learned your
Way
voice?
easier, way easier, and also because you don't care about the baggage and the weight, and you know the confidence level is a different place.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gotten easy. Might not be the word describing it, but it's gotten totally comfortable, and it's
Because this is a
totally
vocal style.
comfortable
Yeah,
doing
I can't wrap my head
weird
around.
vocals. On the Draw Blood album, there's a lot
Yeah.
of weird vocals. It's all first take. It's all just ba bam, and wow, that sounded good. Okay, next riff.
Are you tying the vocals with the lyrics into like how you're
Yes,
pronounced, like how it's the power of it?
yes, definitely. And I think that's one of the parts I appreciate now with the digital aspect of producing today
Mm.
is where the two guitarists sit down, they riff about. Erik might lay some drums on it. We send it back and forth, and that's where also my saying comes into play. Hey, why don't we do this part two more times and then
Right.
switch to this part instead of that part because that works better in my head, lyrical and vocal wise. So I must say, doing vocals with Svarttjern today is just it's hard, really hard work, but still it feels really natural, and I've never really felt as part of the process as I do now, which feels very
Yeah.
good, obviously.
It's funny because vocals that are this strong and powerful from well, black metal, even some of the death metal and thrash bands, they seem so much stronger than some of the other bands from the '80s. A lot of them are
Yeah,
like, if I sang now, if I knew what I knew now, I would have sang in a lower key. Some of them just
yeah,
can't sing. They're like, and I had Don Dokken on. He said it many times. His voice is just cracked. He was
yeah,
also smoking and drinking when he was telling me that too. So I mean,
yeah.
take with a grain
Yeah,
of salt.
we had we saw Guns N' Roses at Wacken last summer. That
We
was
saw
Yeah.
10 minutes of their 3.5 hour long set.
Wow.
Oof. Oh, that
10
was
minutes we
brutal.
were out. Yeah. I
That
Yeah.
was
love
enough
Guns
for
N'
you.
Roses, by the way, but yeah.
So I mean, I have to think. So I mean, but this is a different vocal style. Like to me, I love it, but I know so little about it. Like how the power you control and how you So that's why the strength that as all of your bands get age on, I swear to God, you guys get more powerful. It's crazy.
Yeah, but we do because in a weird way. I mean, if you meet a 70-year-old guy at the gym who's been working out since he was 19, he's just he's he's so well trained, he doesn't have to stand a contest or whatever, but he's so well trained. And when you meet vocalists or guitarists or whatever musician who's been doing this for such a long time, also striving to keep a certain level, as Erik says, with professionalism and so on. Uh, yeah, that's just the way the world works. I'm a very seasoned vocalist, and I know it, and I use that to every advantage I can, especially when it comes to studio.
Because of everything you guys are doing all the time, I don't imagine you have to practice a lot because I feel like you guys are always playing a lot.
Yeah.
Like there's no downtime. I know some bands when they're off tour, they put their guitars away, they don't sing for a couple months, then they have to sing and practice. Or some bands are like, especially singers are like, I'm going to sing a couple days a week, and then before the tour, I sing 6 days. You know,
Yeah, but I'm the bad example coming to that because I'm not into any other bands. I have some projects, but I'm not into any other bands. So when I get off, I could stay silent for a year, and then hit the studio, bam bam, or hit the road like 2 rehearsals. That's it. So I'm like that, and I
and
guess
you're a
that
very
also
lucky man then.
covers. What's that?
You're a very lucky man then. A lot of singers can't do that.
No, but it costs at the same time. There's always a price to pay, but I have nothing else going for me, so that's the price I'm willing to pay. The other guys, especially Erik Malfas and Grimdun, with Carpathian Force and Urgahal, they have, they're constantly playing, constantly evolving,
Right.
which to me is just extremely impressive. But for me, I'm an old school dude. I can step into the studio. I haven't really raised my voice louder than this for a year. But still, I go in and do the same job. And even maybe sounds better.
Right. As a wrap up, two last questions. So, first one is going to be cover songs. You guys have done some interesting cover songs. Exodus and the Stones. I mean, those are some pretty cool cover songs. And I always think cover songs are cool because for all bands, especially when you're younger or you're starting out, it's like going to school. It teaches you how to write a song somehow. Because you play
Yeah.
a song, you take it apart. Like there are songs I'll be on an elevator, I'll be like, that's an awful song. And I sit with my guitar, I play it, and I go, oh, I get it. The way it's put together, and also I kind of like it now. It gives you a whole new view. Is that the same kind of thing with you guys pulling in your influences of doing these cover songs? Is there a particular feeling when to do these songs?
Erik has to do that one, I think.
As for I think especially the Exodus Bonded by Blood cover, that is obviously one of a huge influential albums
Right.
for me and for us. And we're like drinking beers when we were like 16 years old and listening to
It's a
that
great cover.
album over and over again. And when we on the Shame is Just a Word album, yeah, just chew on that title for a second. Then we let like everything down in terms of
Hmm.
we did a lot of heavy metal stuff and thrash metal and the title itself just a big fuck off and fuck you to again our friends in the gatekeepers and cult
That
idiots. So it was, and it's as you mentioned, it's very rewarding to actually do a cover well. It's not just about playing the riffs, but
right.
you see it come together, and it's like paying a homage to a great band, and which has molded our creativity, at least for
Oh
my
yeah.
sake, with the Gary Holt. So I don't think Svarttjern would be anything like we are today without those influences.
Right.
And not only the music, but the mindset as well, the fuck you mentality, the DIY style stuff. And as for the Rolling Stones, that was a bit more challenging to. But yeah, it's
And it was none of ours idea, actually.
no, actually, it was the
No?
drummer's idea, and it's without going like too deep into like wokeness and stuff like that. But yeah, I think he just felt those lyrics were
Yeah.
needed some repetition, but like in a fun way. If
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm describing it, but
No, I think you're clear on point. I think your English is the
it's
thing
a
better than
fuck off
mine.
to the wokeness, to the fucking yeah, you can't do anything anymore. So
No.
yeah, and it was challenging from a musical point. So that took some work to make it sound decent.
But we had
To
a
see.
good fucking time in the studio.
Yes, we
At,
did.
at one
Yeah.
point, we had to say, guys, we're
Mm.
done drinking for today in the studio. Let's head up to the house and let's keep partying there. We can't do it anymore. We come back tomorrow, and because the vocals and shit, because Fjellnord, the second guitarist, was doing the backing tracks, and it went ballistic. So I think 90% of the song is censored. It's just not ever going to be played anywhere.
It's
But we had
great
a
though.
good fucking time doing it.
And it's a great because in genre wise, you wouldn't expect the covers. I mean, Bye Bye Blood's great. That's awesome. Because most people don't cover Exodus. Exodus is there's like monsters. Who's going to cover them? So that was a great surprise, and it's a great cover. And then doing the Rolling Stones as a black, and that's awesome. And
Yeah,
then to
that
interpret it
was awesome.
differently, and it's a good time to do that. So the last question for both you guys, and I want to thank you so much. It's been so awesome talking to you guys.
Thanks.
How are we going to top this last album, man? Because you guys got like 4 or 5 albums between it, a lot of influences. Each album is so. Uh, how are we getting ready for this next one? And when we get looking somewhat time soon, we gonna do
We're
something?
getting ready for it as well. I think we're going to top it off because it's going to be continue somewhat the path of Draw Blood, but with some inner driven forces as well regarding sound and so on. So yeah, Erik, what do you say?
Yes. Uh, we don't have this red line to follow just yet. At least not. I haven't like heard it in my mind, but we're working on it daily, like pre-production phase. I had the guitarist here this Friday. Got a bit further, and yeah, I
Stayed
think we're
sober?
looking
Did you
at
guys drink or did you say sober, Erik?
stay sober.
Oh, fuck you.
Do
You're so boring. No,
you
but
think
still,
that?
Yeah,
it's a
but
phase. It's a phase.
I think a release in 2027 is
Yes.
very
That's what I was gonna ask.
likely.
Maybe 2027. Give us some
Yes.
time
Yeah,
to breathe. And
nothing sooner. Yeah, it needs to be promoted and it's yeah, everything. Yeah.
no need to rush it. 'Cause, I mean, each
No,
album is like their own moments, and I don't mean like how can you top it? It's like being like you need to have this next big Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Brothers reference. How can you
yeah.
top it as personally pushing yourself and doing what you want to do and
Mm.
growing? You know what I'm saying? Like how much
Yeah.
the sounds you guys keep pulling out of yourself is amazing. I'm like, how much more is in there to keep doing? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? In a good way.
But
Yeah.
it's fun. It's been a couple of years, since well, it will be in time for, at least in my opinion, when I really start to nail down lyrics. And there's no secrets. I'm living a quite fucked up lifestyle. There's a lot of things been going on in that time, which means there's just that natural inspiration and maybe a different view on where I stand on certain points when it comes to philosophy and so on. So I'm reading a lot of philosophy these days, really kind of regaining those strong holding points. So I really think that an album also needs some time because the musicians has to live for a bit as well and experience.
Excellent. Well said. Phil, man, you guys are very top-notch musicians, and thank you for the interview. It was a great interview.
Thank you.
Very gracious
Thank
of
you.
you. I thank you. I do. I love all your music.
We appreciate the attention, man, and we
Thank you
appreciate the
very
support.
much.
So thank you.
Mm.
Well, thank you. People that aren't aware, check them out. It's they're so different than any other black metal band. They're just so different. You just gotta hear them. But you gotta do with
Nice.
headphones on because you gotta really get into it. You gotta be the mind to be open. You can't just be like, I'm gonna hear it, and you know what I mean? And be blown away. You gotta listen. You gotta be open. You know. And you also gotta be like, listen. You can't just go from like listening to Air Supply and then listen to the band. It's gonna be very jolting. You gotta ease into it. On a serious note, I'll be looking for the album, and maybe we could talk when the other album comes out next year, and maybe break down some songs and kind of nerdy about
Oh,
it.
definitely.
Say hi to the rest of the band. You guys kick it. People check out the band. Gentlemen, thank you for being on the show. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.